Hi-yo, film buffs! Straight shooter, I'm back. Once again, I'm at Team Sound Studios. The background looks different almost every time, but that's the magic of the camera and the studio you're using. Today's review will have spoilers, and it's a review of El Camino. Now, El Camino did not get a wide release. It was released on Netflix, and some movie theaters had it. If you've seen the series Breaking Bad, the movie is a continuation of that series. And let me start off by saying that Breaking Bad was a really good show. I enjoyed it a lot. And it's one of the best shows, probably the best show of the 2000s into the early 2010s or whatever it was. I love the characters, Walter White, his family, Jesse Pinkman, all that stuff. So the movie picks up right where Breaking Bad ended. Jesse Pinkman drives off in the El Camino, which is why the movie is called El Camino. He meets up with his buddies, Badger and Skinny Pete. He has to get rid of the car because it has LoJack on it. And the movie switches between flashbacks and present day. And that's where the movie was kind of a little bit jarring, because they would spend a long time on some of the flashbacks. And they didn't need to be that long to set up what was going on in the present. Like, there was one scene where Jesse went to the guy's house that was imprisoning him, that Walt killed in the finale, and he was looking for money. So they went through this whole... The flashback must have been at least a half hour, where it showed he brought Jesse to his house because he needed his help to get rid of a body. So they rolled it up, took it to the desert, buried it, and he was hiding money there. But he didn't know where the money was. He didn't tell him. So he had to toss his place looking for the money, and he finally found the money. And then there's these fake cops that show up. They try to steal the money. They split it and all this stuff. But they didn't really need to go into everything that happened up until, before the finale of Breaking Bad to this. But I guess they didn't really have much of a story to go with in present day, because basically what happens is Jesse finds money. He goes to the vacuum salesman guy, played by Robert Forster, by the way, rest in peace. And Aaron Paul plays Jesse Pinkman, of course. And Mike Ehrmantraut, the guy that plays him, I forget his name, but he had a cameo. And there was a scene actually with Walter White, which was pretty cool. But those were flashbacks, obviously, because Walter White was killed in the finale. So basically, if you just look at what happens in the present day, he gets money together, he goes to the vacuum salesman, he's short, he goes back to the guys that took the rest of the money, because by some point they said, you're not taking all this money, you're taking a third. Third didn't cover it, so he went back. He found out where they were, and there's a gunfight, and he takes the rest of the money, and then he gives it to the vacuum salesman, and he takes off to Alaska. And that's basically the plot of the movie. And I guess that's why they had to go back into the past, because everything that happened in the present day was, number one, short. Number two, not very terribly interesting. And some of the flashbacks were interesting, like the scene with Walter White was interesting. The scenes with him and the guy that imprisoned him, I forget the dude's name, that wasn't particularly interesting. The movie kind of felt like the series did, in the sense of the writing and the dialogue and all this stuff. But they left out what really made Breaking Bad really good. The shit that happened in the series. The evil, diabolical mind of Walter White. And I understand that Walter White got killed, and his family is no longer pictured, so they had to work with what they got. But what they got left, after Walter is dead, Mike Ehrmantraut's dead, Gus Fring is dead, Tua Salamanca is dead, what are they left with? Jesse Pinkman, his friends, and the people that took the rest of the money. That just doesn't lead to a very exciting, compelling movie setup. But they felt like they needed to make the movie because I think people were eager to get more Breaking Bad storylines. It's just they didn't bring their A game. And I thought the movie was okay, it was decent. It was nice to see what happened to Jesse Pinkman. And if nothing else, that's probably the best reason to watch the movie. At the same time, if you're going to do a movie from Breaking Bad, which is such a highly regarded series, make it great. Let it go out with a bang. It didn't go out with a bang, it just kind of like coasted through. The ending was a happy ending, but it was anticlimactic. And that's just because of who and what they had to work with after the finale of Breaking Bad. Really, the series should have ended there. Jesse Pinkman went off, and Walter White was dead, and the series ended fine. It didn't really need to go any further, but since it did go further, I was going to go watch it because I was a big fan of Breaking Bad. And I guess it was nice to get some closure and finality to Jesse Pinkman's story because we got finality to Walter White's story, but his story didn't end up to be very exciting. The most exciting part was when he found the guys that took the rest of the money that he found, and there was like a Wild West sort of shootout, gun draw kind of thing. And he shoots the one guy, he's dead, another guy shoots him, and he's shooting back, and that's it. And then he drives off, and he sets the place afire to burn the evidence, and he has the money, and he gets away. If you're looking for... It depends on what you liked about Breaking Bad, I guess. If you liked the dialogue, if you liked the setups, all the little different nuances in the characters, then you might enjoy this movie. But if you're looking for like an epic, exciting, like big conclusion to Breaking Bad, more so than the last season was, then you're going to be disappointed. I was kind of disappointed. I'll be honest with you, it's kind of slow. It's not surprising to me that it was slow, considering the characters and the stories that they were left with. But I guess it was about as expected. So what would I give the movie? I would give it I'm going to give it a C+. But that's how I see it. It was a good movie considering that it had Jesse Pinkman in it, and it had some exciting elements to it, but not enough to make me say, okay, that was great. I got to keep watching that. I want to watch that again. I don't really need to watch it again. But that's how I see it. It was a decent movie. It wasn't really necessary in the Breaking Bad universe. But anyway, what else can I say? That's it for today. Yay! So I'm going to go home, I'm going to edit these videos, and I'm going to get them out there ASAP. Have a good night, guys.